It's a beautiful Wednesday to see what's going on here at the corner of Central and Hillsborough Avenue. I can already see we need to trim a few trees here, or not trees, but brush, so you can see where you're going. But the main complaint has been the speeding along this area at different times of the day. So I'm gonna hit rush hour evening traffic first, and then we're gonna do morning traffic and after school traffic. Apparently after school this area becomes very, very dangerous. Even the buses are out of line. And when I mean out of line, they're speeding, they're cutting through. It doesn't make it a pleasant experience. So the best way to do this kind of stuff is to document it. That way it's not just hyperbole and saying, oh, well, we'll do something about something without knowing what that something really is. Yeah, it's good to do a traffic count, but traffic count is data and numbers. And yes, we'll do something like that as well. But just as important, if not more important in these days, video. Video helps show what exactly is going on here. What is happening? How can TPD help? How can the county officials help? How can city officials help? We have lots of officials, and we need them to work on this area because this area it's a neighborhood road. It's a major highway intersection. Hillsborough Avenue, of course, very important road. But just as important are the folks who live here. He's got himself a nice little jet ski. And there's the smoke he's leaving behind. Favorite heart bus, one of my favorite heart buses. But as you can see, the line does get a little long, and actually it gets longer. It depends on everything. So there's a lot of cut through traffic coming in from Florida Avenue to Central, but that's to be expected. The designs of the roads aren't to keep everybody off the road. Obviously, we want to push people towards roads that have the venue that is safer. The primary complaint here has been speeding and how people know and don't know the rules of when you turn left, if there's a stop sign, who turns right, who turns left. Believe it or not, when there's a red light, even some people don't know when to turn. This area can obviously use a turn signal lane. It would help mitigate part of the problem. Meaning, like this guy here, he's trying to get over, can't get over. So it's quite important that we have proper signaling. We need to do everything we can to calm traffic, organize traffic, keep it orderly, and keep it safe for everyone. For the drivers, for the pedestrians, for the dogs, for the cats, the truckers. See, like this lady should have gotten a ticket because she ran the light big time. And nice long line of cars. But in all fairness, this is not a very long line of cars. A lot of these folks, like I said, are circling in from Florida Avenue. They might be coming from Martin Luther King, or maybe even from as far south as Columbus, managing their way up. But I will be very curious to see what happens when we do the same thing during the school's out time, because that's really when we need to be even more careful as to what's going on. And I'm glad to see that one of my good friends was obeying the law. She said she spotted me and immediately slowed down, slower than she was going to begin with. This isn't a radar detector. And no, we're not taking names, we're not taking license plates. Though that guy who was on that, I'm going to say he was on the jet ski, because that's what it looked like he was trying to do. But we need to do some enhancements. And that's very important, the word enhancements. So we have traffic lights, but we don't have turn signals. We need to get the data from the Department of Transportation, the county, and the city as to what the crash data is. There have been deaths already at this intersection over the past five years or so. If somebody getting killed does not mean that we should be doing something, well, you know, I don't know what does. But fatalities, a lot of these fatalities on these roads can be avoided with the proper signaling, better striping, more reminders to people. Hey, you know, you're not supposed to, once the light is red, you're supposed to stop, not go faster, which is what usually happens a lot of times, because there's no turn signal. People go out into the middle of the road, and then they turn, and then there's an accident. Sometimes people try to run the light, which no signs or anything is going to stop that from happening. That will still continue to happen. But we need to let them see what really happens. And see, I know that our city officials like Pat Kemp or Kim Over, Guido, John Dingfelder, and the rest, they can't be here every single day watching what's going on, recording it. Well, that's where we as citizens, that's part of our jobs, you know. We need to be civic activists. We don't have to be activists all the time. But when duty calls, we should answer the call to duty. And I think it's very, very important that we do. Charlene has been a proponent for the past, I'd say, year. She's like, Mauricio, we need to work on this street. We need to work on this street. Last year, we focused on a very problematic area, Violet and Florida and Highland. The focus for these, we have two campaigns that will generate Central and Hillsborough, as well as Hannah and Florida Avenue. Now see, we have bikers to your point, Jason, the complaints, one of them is right here. No turn signal. So everybody's jockeying for position, including folks on bikes. They're jockeying for position. They're waiting for the green light, when we all know that really bicycles should not be on the sidewalk, but they're taking their lives in their hands if they were to get on the street right now. Speeding, Jason, is a very big issue, and maybe you and I should team up, compare notes, because these folks have waited long enough. So let's see if we can't make something happen, and I'm very, very sure that we will be able to make inroads here by making enhancements and getting traffic counts and video. So this is about as long as it really needs to be for the moment. We all get a little bored watching film of me just talking and watching cars, but I'm kind of interested in seeing that during the height of rush hour. Look at the line. Woo! And those people aren't going 30 miles an hour. They're going like 5 miles an hour. Everybody's slowed down, but I guarantee you that if they could speed up, work a little faster, they would. It's in the nature of us to get faster to the stoplight. Why we want to get faster to the stoplight, I have no idea, but that's what most of us do. Yes, cut through traffic. It's the height of rush hour. People are getting home. Are these people going up to Wesley Chapel? No. These are mostly your neighbors living somewhere in these vicinities. Maybe they do go all the way up to USF. Maybe they do go to Temple Terrace. But more than likely, they're somewhere between here and Busch Gardens. At least that's what we have seen on reports. And you can see way back there. You can see how the cars are coming in from Florida Avenue. But again, I want to stress, you do want to move congestion around. But better yet, if we had mass transportation, a lot of the people who lived up in this area, when there was a trolley here 100 years ago, they probably would take the trolley to go home, just as they did back then. But we need a functional, working system not something that's intermittent and a trolley car that goes to nowhere and a trolley car that comes every 30 or 40 minutes. That just doesn't work for people. People want to be able to move quickly, and I understand why, because there are times when we have appointments to keep and stuff. And this is the heart of the city. This is the urban core. There's no reason why we should be waiting 20, 30 minutes for a bus to get us to downtown. We're only 4 miles away from downtown. So let's see how the line's going. Woo-wee. Okay, so this will be one of a few videos that we'll be producing of this area. And we'll make sure that all the officials involved get a copy of this video as well. Is that 30 miles an hour? I don't think so. So here, lack of turn signal. Person did a good job. They waited. Luckily, there was a stoplight over there. Now, during the daytime, I know in the mornings, obviously, the traffic is going to be coming from the other area, which is logical. See, here's someone else who's a cyclist. If there was a bike boulevard here on Central Avenue, a lot more people would use the bike boulevard. Don't count down our trees, though, to build the bike boulevard. We don't need that. We need more trees, not fewer trees. And we even have our handy-dandy fire department coming through. They're always good guys. We like our firemen. I can't say that I ever complained about a fireman. In fact, every time I've called for something, They're there, they're ready to help. Mind you, that is their job. But at the same time, it's always good to know that they like what they're doing, that they're careful about what they're doing, and that they're not harming someone else in order to get a job done quickly. Because getting a job done quickly means that someone will get hurt. Whether that's building a road, putting in a stop sign, a signal light, a fire, chasing someone on a stolen car. The biggest deal is safety, diffusing the situation, and the same applies for these intersections. How do we diffuse this issue of speeding and safety? How do we make it work? One way is by moving on mass transit. And you know what? The trolley coming down Central Avenue, this is a historic area, we should be hooked up directly to the airport. We need people to come to Seminole Heights when they're downtown, when they're at the airport. But how can they get up here? There's a bus on Florida Avenue. There's a bus on Nebraska. It comes every 15 minutes or so. Not frequent enough. But let's see what we can do. Let's start with this. All right, friends. If you have any comments, please contact your Hillsborough County Commissioner, your city council member, and also, if you can, contact the Department of Transportation and say, hey, we need your help. Now, is this turn signal going to eliminate all the problems? No. Will a turn signal make it safer? Most likely. But first we need some just maintenance on shrubbery and stuff. It's not clear enough, I don't think, at least not for me. I know there's talk of a bike boulevard on Old Avenue, and it's something that's going to be happening in 2023. That's good news. But I think we need to start talking about something on Central Avenue as well. A bike boulevard on Central Avenue would make a lot of sense. Money well spent. Safety for everyone. All right, Mauricio Roses reporting here with my handy-dandy partner, Mr. Mayo. Hi! Thanks for your help.